What's up guys, this video we're going to show you how to get a same night hookup on Tinder. We're going to do this by breaking down two Tinder layer reports, one with a young hot 18-year-old girl, another one with a big titty MILF. You're going to see all the screenshots from start to finish. So getting a same night hookup on Tinder with a hot girl is definitely possible if you follow the strategies that I'm outlining in this video. We're gonna go through my Tinder layer reports, and this way you guys can see examples of what exactly I'm doing. So the first one is gonna be with a hot 18-year-old European girl who was visiting LA when I lived there. So she opens me on Tinder, which is a pretty good sign. When a girl opens you, that typically means she's a lot more invested. Doesn't mean she's down to hook up that same night, but it's a higher probability. I'm like, hey, what's up? Everything good, just chilling you. At the gym, you should come watch me lift heavy things. CUM spelled, come, right? And again, I'm sexualizing the conversation. This is something you see that's a common theme here is when I'm trying to hook up with a girl the same night, I sexualize the conversation pretty early on. I still don't go from 0 to 100 really fast. I go from 0 to 20, 20 to 40. She's like, I think I can imagine it. I said, wouldn't want you to get you too excited. She's like, what do you mean by that, right? So she's not a native English speaker. So here I said, what are you looking for on here? So basically, I want to figure out that the girl is here to hook up before I invite her to my place for that night. She's like, I have no idea, maybe fun. That's girl talk for, I want to get late. I say, perfect, we should get together sometime soon. So that's the soft close, right? She says, okay, why not, when? So now that I've established that she's down to meet up with me, that there's a sexual undertone, I'm gonna see if she's down to meet up that night. And typically I do that by saying, you feeling spontaneous tonight? So that's what I say. She says, I'm not really a spontaneous person, but I guess I have to. I say, well, join me for a drink on my patio, say 8. She's like, okay, where are we gonna meet? Getting a girl, that same night, just invite her straight to your place, right? There's no point in meeting her in public when there's a sexual undertone. I say, we can meet in the lobby of my building. What's her number? I'll text you the address. So that's what I used to do. I used to say I'm gonna meet them in the lobby, and I still do that because, what if the girl doesn't look like her photos or she's crazy? So I prefer to meet them in the lobby. She gives me the number, message her on WhatsApp. That's another common theme, right? Once I get the girl on board with meeting up, I typically move it to WhatsApp, right? I think that if you just keep it on the Tinder app, right, the girl can, flake because she's like, fuck, and then she flakes. But when you're talking to her on WhatsApp or text, there's an extra layer of investment, and she'll probably be a little bit more hesitant to flake. Can still happen, it's just less likely. Hey, it's Alex from the thing, you're from blah, blah, blah. So I'm just assuming by her area code what country she's from, and very easy to do that. You just take in the area code plus blah, 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 and you type it into Google, and you can see what country they're from. And it just looks like you're just very good at reading them. She's like, yeah, exactly, and you're from USA, cool, I love blank. I was born in Belarus, grew up here though. You've been, oh nice, so you're from Europe too. So a little bit of banter is good, right? Because it solidifies the lead, and that's something you're gonna see me do with both of the interactions. Haha, do you have a sexy blah, blah, blah accent? I don't think it's sexy, but it's yes. I'll be the judge of that. Addresses, so again, a little bit of banter, a little bit of small talk to build comfort, and then I'm moving forward with the plan. She's like, okay, I tried calling Uber, my car didn't work yesterday, but I'll try. I say, cool, my account has free credit, so I can get you one if it doesn't work. Gonna hop in the shower, are you on the way? So yeah, I think there's nothing simply about getting a girl an Uber. Guys are often really paranoid, oh my God, I wanna be her provider. Calling a girl an Uber is totally normal, and that's something pretty much every single dating coach is totally comfortable doing. I say, gonna hop in the shower, you're on the way, so credit John Anthony, that's a confirmation text. I just arrived in my hotel room, I was at DVS, I'm sorry. But here's what's interesting. There's a little bit of a time delay here, right? So a lot of guys, they would just freak out. They'd be like, oh my God, are you flaking? Please don't stop, right? But you still got to keep it cool because sometimes the girl maybe, takes a lot longer than was expected, right? But if you start blowing up her phone and getting needy, it's done. She's like, I just have to take a shower, then I can leave, but I guess my Uber doesn't work. Can you call me an Uber then? Sounds good. What's the address? She's like, I don't know the address. I tell you when I'm ready. Cool, it's super close. How far? 5-minute drive. Okay, cool, I hurry up. Here's just logistics. Cool, ready? Yeah, now yes, now I have the internet, so you pick me up from the Uber. Okay, here's just more logistics. And then she comes over. We hook up within 10 minutes of her getting to my place. This chick was really hot. She was like a hot European with big fake tits. I was like, last night was fire. That's kind of my post-sex text. And then I'm like, still leaving tomorrow? She's like, yes. I was hoping to keep you as my little sex slave. I'm like, you free tonight? By the way, for this, JW's watching this video. That's a joke. I'm not actually trying to keep her as a sex slave. She's like, yes, later, I think. Cool, I have some errands, blah, blah, blah. And here, meet up, make plans, and meet up a second night. Unfortunately, she was flying back to her home country, right? So this wasn't an ongoing thing. But yeah, if you hook up with a girl the same night, doesn't mean it has to be a one-night stand. You can still meet up with them on a different night. It doesn't mean that oh, it has to be a one-time thing. That's a common misconception. Okay. Now let's take a look at a girl who's totally different. She's very much a Native American. She's a bit older, in her 40s. She has big tits, right? Big ass, right? So this is like your typical big titty MILF that you might see in the porno, right? So here the conversation starts very differently. So I match with this girl and she has a pretty face, but I don't see any body photos, right? So I'm like, I want to make sure that, you know, she's not overweight. So I say, question. She's like, what's that? I don't see any body pics. You're not some kind of secret fatty, right? She's like, no, I promise. She gives me a number, text me, I'll show you. New to this, so I realized I need to put some photos. I'm professional, so I need to be careful with photos. So that is actually common. Girls who are professionals working in the field, they're gonna be a little bit more reluctant to show, like, let's just say sexy photos. And this is another thing that I've noticed, is if you're talking to a hot girl and you say, you're not a secret fatty, right? They're gonna find it funny. They're gonna be like, of course I'm not a secret fatty. If you're talking to a girl who is like actually overweight, she's gonna get super triggered by that. So it's like, you're not really gonna screen out, unless this girl's like a hardcore SJW, in which case you probably don't really wanna meet up with her anyway. You're not really gonna miss too many leads by doing that. Nowadays, I typically don't say this. I say, do you have Instagram, right? But this chick, I believe, didn't have an Instagram, so I would still have to send that text. But my first go-to now is, do you have Instagram? If she doesn't, then I say, can you text me your photos? I just want to make sure you're not secret fatty. So I still kind of use a variation of this line. So I say, hey, you. She sends me 2 selfies and she looks good. Now we did have to censor a lot of those because, you know, for YouTube, not to get flagged. And she sends me a pic of her ass, not a fatty, LOL. I say, definitely not. That looks like you could use a good spanking, referencing her ass. So you can see also, it's a very strong sexual undertones. Yes, sir. I just tried Tinder for the first time last week. I've gotten the same question more than once. So yeah, but I need a full body shot. I say, perhaps, what are you looking for on here? So exact same question. I want to make sure she's on board to hook up. I want to establish that sexual frame before I invite her to my place. Do not have any expectations, someone to have fun with you. I'm pretty open to finding a partner, but one day at a time, or just fuck, right? So she's being way more direct than the other girl. I typically find that males and like cougars, they're gonna be a little bit more upfront and direct, right? Because they know what they want and not embarrassed to say. I say, perfect, same here. I have a very high sex drive. Show me more pics. Say, please, please, baby. There we go. And then I send her a dick pic, right? So again, you don't want to send unsolicited dick pics, right? You don't want to be that guy that's just blowing up girls' phone with dick pics. But if a girl is asking you for a photo and she sent you like a photo to you, right? At that point, it's pretty appropriate to send you her dick pic. She's like, oh my God, it's fucking beautiful. Think you can handle it. That's like 7 inches. You have no idea, babe. I'm a grown woman. I say, are you sexually submissive? I like being dominated. Do you like big breasts? And she sends me a photo of her tits, which are fucking amazing. I say, of course, I'd suck on those nipples nice and slow until those little panties were dripping wet. It's very rare to see a cock as big as yours. I'm ready. Right? So at this point, I have a high degree of sexual investment, right? So I think this is the reason I met up with her instead of like, you know, the other guys that, you know, were asking for photos is, again, I established a strong sexual frame. I got sexual investment. She, at this point, thinks that if she meets up with me, she's going to get fucked really, really well, right? And since she's looking for a hookup, that's basically what she needs. You feeling spontaneous tonight? Yes. Kind of scary. What side of town are you on? So I hear by West Campus. This is when I lived in Austin. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So here's just logistics. Do you want me to come by? I say, yes. Well, this is crazy. Can you FaceTime me so I know you're a real person? So this will happen sometimes. Girls will be feeling a little anxious, right? So I FaceTime her for like 2 minutes. I'm just like, hey, what's up? Like, this is me. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. I just want to make sure you're not catfish. You know, a little bit of flirting. I'm like, show me a sneak preview of that big booty of yours. She's like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. Right, so just flirt with her for 1-2 minutes. I'm like, cool, all right, so I'll see you in 20 minutes, right? You don't want to be FaceTiming for too long because that'll kill the sexual tension. So here she sends me her location. I send her my location. And then she comes over, we hook up within like the first 5-10 minutes. I actually remember with this chick, the sex was fucking epic. I think I fucked her like 3 or 4 times. It was like insane. She just had a super hot, you know, super high sex drive. And she was just like your typical MILF, like big tits, big ass, like super seductive, like everything you would imagine. I said that was fun. She sends me the emoji. And here I'm just like talking to her. I never wound up actually meeting up with her again. For some reason, I think it was because I was moving out of Texas. But yeah, this chick was definitely a blast as well. So are you guys seeing the pattern here? There's a few things that you're doing. One is you're establishing a pretty strong sexual frame from the start. 2 is you're building a little bit of investment. And 3, you're capitalizing on that investment by going for the close, going for the meetup, and then you're saying after the girl agrees to the soft close, you say, you feeling spontaneous tonight? Once the girl agrees to that, it's just logistics, maybe a little bit more banter, right? To just keep the lead warm, but it's mainly logistics at that point, and that's how you get a hot girl over your place that same night. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable, and the last but most crucial step of getting a hot girl for a same night hookup on Tinder is smashing the like button, hitting subscribe, clicking the bell for notification, and consider sharing this video with a friend. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.